Members of the class of 2020, congratulations on your graduation from the University of Chicago Law School. We're tremendously proud of your accomplishment, and we're eager to celebrate with you during this remote hooding ceremony. We wish we could celebrate with you and with your family and friends in person, but the COVID pandemic prevents us from doing so. 2 months ago, when it became clear that we would not be able to hold the hooding ceremony in person, we thought hard and imaginatively about how we could make a remote ceremony special and meaningful. And then we got to work. We planned, we developed, we assembled the ceremony over the course of 2 months. In the ceremony that follows, you will see greetings and messages from faculty, from friends of the law school, and from me. And in order to have a smooth running ceremony, to accommodate schedules and to maintain social distancing as we prepared this ceremony, some of the messages were prepared in advance. The messages, therefore, do not reference the brutal killing of George Floyd and the events that have shaken our country over the past 2 weeks. These events come after the repeated similar deaths of other African Americans and the disproportionate impact of the COVID pandemic, economic turmoil, and upheavals in many cities. As I wrote in my message to the law school community last week, it is a particularly hard moment for our country. Police brutality and racism are insidious and unacceptable, and they raise profound questions about law, race, and justice. I also express the hope that the events will inspire a renewed sense of dedication to equal justice under law, and that I look forward to what our graduates will accomplish in restoring public trust and in advancing equal justice under law. Please know that the constraints of assembling this ceremony don't diminish in any way the greetings, the messages of congratulations, and the best wishes for the future, or make them any less heartfelt, enthusiastic, or hopeful. Graduation from the University of Chicago Law School is a tremendous accomplishment. It deserves a moment, more than a moment, of celebration. Class of 2020, you have learned a lot, you have achieved a lot. Congratulations. Enjoy the ceremony. Members of the class of 2020, family, friends, welcome to the 22nd annual hooding ceremony of the University of Chicago Law School, remote edition. I'm Tom Miles, Dean of the Law School. Welcome. Today is a day to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2020. You, the members of the class of 2020, have accomplished a great deal. It was not long ago that you first came to the law school and went to your very first class. That class may have been your first in a graduate program and your first encounter with the Socratic method. You may remember approaching that first class with a sense of excitement, curiosity, even anxiety. In that first class, or shortly thereafter, you encountered a reservoir that flooded a neighboring mine. You encountered a group of shipwrecked voyagers who resorted to cannibalism. And you encountered an automobile distributor that sought to avoid litigation in Oklahoma. Your encounters with these characters, and many others, were then the focus of your close study, and perhaps were sources of confusion, even frustration. Now these characters prompt a nod of recognition, and perhaps a touch of nostalgia. The fact that they now prompt nostalgia, and the fact that the Socratic method no longer makes you nervous, indicates how much you have learned and how much you have grown in your time at the law school. You have learned a great deal of the law itself. You learned legal doctrine. Between now and the bar exam, still July in some states, September in others, October in a few, you will surely learn much more of the content of law. But much of your learning at the law school was not about specific points of doctrine. Rather, you learned how to think about legal problems, how to interpret legal texts, how to engage in common law reasoning, how to disentangle thorny legal problems, and how to find solutions that would have benefits for all involved. You have learned to approach legal questions with rigorous thought and careful reasoning, and to examine questions from multiple perspectives. An analytical approach requires an openness to ideas and a commitment to subject those ideas to careful scrutiny. This dedication to, and indeed joy in, serious analytical inquiry has long been the hallmark of the University of Chicago lawyer. With the conferral of your degrees, you become a University of Chicago lawyer too. But to the extent that you have already dedicated yourself to serious analytical inquiry in law, and the fact that you are here today suggests you have already been transformed into that University of Chicago lawyer. You're no longer the student who is apprehensive or confused about the shipwrecked voyagers, the flooding reservoir, or the site of the automobile distributor's litigation. You are now a lawyer equipped to think about and to tackle the hardest cases. Now, just as you were about to complete law school and become that lawyer, just as you were about to enjoy your last quarter and perhaps savor a bit of that accomplishment, an unexpected crisis emerged. A crisis in public health, and now in the economy, have rippled across the country, indeed across the globe, and are testing all of us and our institutions. For some of us, the disruptions have been modest inconveniences. We've all had to learn Zoom. For others of us, the impacts have been severe, ranging from financial turmoil to personal tragedy. For all of us, our ways of living and working have changed significantly and are likely to remain changed, at least for some time. This was a time that was meant to celebrate your accomplishment, but now it's a moment of uncertainty about the future. On this day, as you graduate from the law school, I believe that you should have a sense of accomplishment because you have a reason to celebrate, and you should feel confidence in the future. Your achievement as a graduate of the law school is well earned. You transformed yourself into that University of Chicago lawyer, and this transformation didn't happen without effort, and it didn't happen overnight. Instead, it happened over many days and many nights of study and discussion with your faculty, with your classmates, all the hours that you spent in the classroom and recently on Zoom, and in the clinics, in dialogue with faculty, the hours you spent in library carols and in conference rooms, in the Green Lounge, in the journal offices, studying, outlining, writing, rewriting again, discussing, arguing, and ultimately thinking are what transformed you. It was hard work. You did it. Congratulations. The fact that you have done it should give you confidence in the future, despite all the current uncertainties. The current moment is unprecedented in many ways, but it is not the first time that our graduates have met with an unexpected crisis and triumphed. Consider, for example, Earl Dickerson, the first African-American JD graduate of this law school, whose graduation occurred a century ago this year. Dickerson faced many obstacles in obtaining his education. Dickerson had to overcome the racism of his time. His graduation occurred nearly 35 years before the Supreme Court's decision in Brown versus Board. But his graduation was only 25 years after the decision in Plessy versus Ferguson. But Dickerson had to overcome an unexpected crisis, World War I. Dickerson's education at the law school was interrupted by World War I, and he served in that war. After he graduated, he went on to become a leading civil rights lawyer and a leading businessman. Or consider Patsy Mink, class of 1951. Mink was a Japanese-American woman from Hawaii at a time when the law school had very few women students. When she graduated, she unexpectedly faced the reality that no law firm would hire a married woman. Mink launched her own practice. She entered politics. She was elected to Congress, where she served for many years. Among her accomplishments in Congress was the authorship and passage of Title IX, a piece of landmark legislation that prohibits sex discrimination in education. Dickerson, Mink, and so many other graduates of our law school have encountered unexpected crises and obstacles and have succeeded despite them. As much as large external forces, be they wars, social structures, pandemics, or something else, change our lives in unexpected ways and visit tragedies upon us, the lives of our past graduates reaffirm the power of the individual to overcome these forces. More than that, they demonstrate the power of the individual to shape our world for the better, despite the unexpected crises and obstacles. Now, as you graduate, we find ourselves in another moment of crisis and uncertainty. Your careers may take many paths: clerkships, government service, big law, small law, public interest, or business. Whatever your path, rigorous analytical minds and sound judgment that you developed here at the law school, will be sorely needed at this moment and in the future. It's unlikely that your professional work will directly involve shipwrecks, flooding reservoirs, or automobile distributors. But your professional work is certain to involve large and thorny problems, especially at these times. The distinctive characteristics of the University of Chicago lawyer should serve you well in tackling them. Continue to learn hard and think hard and analyze those thorny problems closely. Your education does not end when this ceremony concludes or when you leave the bar exam in July or September or October. The contributions that you can make for your clients and for our world are just beginning. What it means to be a University of Chicago lawyer has been defined not only by the education that we provide in the law school, it is also defined by the work of our graduates, Dickerson, Mink, and so many others. Although you may not have known it directly, their professionalism, the quality of the work that they did, and their accomplishments are what helped draw you to the law school. We're glad you came. Now it is your turn to shape what it means to be a University of Chicago lawyer. You're about to have that label, University of Chicago lawyer, forever attached to your professional life. Although your educational program concludes today, your association with the law school is happily permanent. We have a great confidence in all of you and what you will accomplish with what you have learned here. Today we celebrate your accomplishment, and we look forward with confidence to our future. We're proud of you. Now go out and make us proud again. Congratulations. Traditionally, at this point in our hooding ceremony, I would introduce our Distinguished Alumnus of the Year. And this amazing graduate would deliver a set of inspirational remarks to the class. However, as we know, this year is unlike past years, so I don't have a distinguished alumnus to introduce. Instead, this year, a number of accomplished graduates wanted to share with you their well wishes and their congratulations. So rather than introducing one graduate, I'm honored to introduce a series of our accomplished graduates.
Hello, graduates. I am disappointed not to be with you in person today, but I'm excited to have the opportunity to introduce a series of congratulatory messages for you from your fellow alumni of the University of Chicago Law School. These are extraordinary times, but you are extraordinary people, as are those that you are about to hear from. I wish you well, and let us start with remarks by Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago. Congratulations, and I wish you well.
Greetings to the University of Chicago Law School class of 2020. This is Mayor Lightfoot, an alum of your great law school. This year's ceremony isn't what any of us expected, but that doesn't take away from the meaning of this moment. Being a graduate of U of C's law school is one of the proudest accomplishments of my life, and has shaped who I am ever since. I personally know what it's taken for all of you to get to this point, and I want you to know how proud I am for what you've done and for what you will do in the years to come. Both in and outside of your careers, you have a responsibility to take your education and use it to think critically, ask questions, serve your communities, advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves, and use the power of your position to fight for what's right. I also want to give a special thanks to all the family and loved ones tuning in now and who've been behind you every step of the way. This is your day too. So congratulations once again to our class of 2020, and safely enjoy your well-earned summer. I'll look forward to seeing what the future holds for all of you.
Congratulations to you, 2020 graduates of the University of Chicago Law School. You are leaving an institution that is devoted to the power of ideas, fueled by the ethos of hard work, and bound together in a tightly knit community. The law school will provide you with a lifetime of support and inspiration. And of course, you have your own smarts, integrity, and energy to excel. I sincerely wish you every personal and professional success and congratulate you on your extraordinary achievements. Always remember to be brave and be kind.
Greetings from Dallas, Texas. Times are tough, but you're tougher because you're graduating from the finest, most rigorous law school in the country. And thank goodness for that, because we need you. We need you to serve with integrity, to advise clients honestly, to argue passionately, to interpret the law faithfully, to treat others respectfully, and to fight fairly, but to fight for your principles fearlessly, and to always, always place cause over self. I'm excited to watch as each of you stands up and accepts the burdens of service and leadership across our nation and around the world. Congratulations, class of 2020, and best wishes.
Congratulations to the law school class of 2020. I'm sure having the school's first online graduation isn't exactly how you plan to make history, but you at least have the benefit of the best law degree that money can buy. I urge you to use it well. Represent your clients vigorously, but do it with civility and respect. We owe that to each other, to the profession, and to the country that we all love. So whether you're representing private clients, public interest groups, or like me, the federal government, let's all work to make this country the best place that it can be. And let's all remember the values that we learned here at the University of Chicago. Good luck, and God bless.
Amy Klobuchar here, and I am a proud graduate of your law school. In fact, look what I found when I was going through a closet, like a lot of people are doing right now. Check this out. It was just a few years ago, huh? Pretty good. So that was me, graduation day, right there, right in front of the law school. So thanks for the invitation to join all of you today. It's great to be here, virtually of course, with the class of 2020. The fact that you're not all gathered in one place for this, it doesn't in any way take away all of your achievements and what you're celebrating today. You're celebrating your degrees, but also we're celebrating where you're headed next. At a time when we will see more legal and moral issues and decisions, hard decisions, coming out of this pandemic, and in the midst of this pandemic, we aren't going to see anything at least like this in my lifetime. That's why we need you. Whether you're going into the private sector or nonprofit or government, which I hope even if you're not doing now, you will consider one day, we're going to need you. And at a time when the rule of law is being challenged and tested in so many ways, we really need you. We need a new generation of lawyers right now to take up the torch now more than ever. So here's to you, University of Chicago Law School class of 2020. I know you're ready to lead and to make us proud. Thank you.
Hey, class of 2020, I'm sorry and congratulations. I'm sorry because you're going to miss rituals that are important to marking the end of the law school experience, but congratulations because it really is true that you have been marked by history. You are different than everybody who went before. You're different in bad ways, and I think you're going to be different in great ways. All kinds of things are going to change in our country and in our world as a result of this pandemic. I hope you'll be part of that change and lead that change. You have what it takes by virtue of the things you brought to the law school and the things you learned at the law school. Take that and step into the public square and lead us, make us better. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the University of Chicago Law School class of 2020. I know how hard you have worked over the past 3 years and how excited you are to reach this milestone. In the time to come, some things may fade, like your knowledge of the rule against perpetuities. But among the things I'm confident will not, will be your ability to think, write, and speak clearly, your willingness to work hard, and your intellectual curiosity about the world. Congratulations again on all you've accomplished, and best of luck in the time ahead.
Hello, I'm David Rubenstein, class of 73, University of Chicago Law School. I want to let you know one thing about the University of Chicago Law School. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life. I graduated about 47 years ago, a long time ago. And at the time, I thought I had received a great education at the University of Chicago Law School. But later in life, I realized just how great it was as I compared the education I got to friends of mine who had gone to other law schools in Cambridge or New Haven or Palo Alto. Now, one thing that happened to me at the University of Chicago Law School, I wasn't so sure was a good idea, and it was this. My parents wanted me to go to the graduation ceremony, the pudding ceremony, in 1973, but I said I have to go to New York to study for the bar, and the bar course starts very soon. So I told my parents that it actually wasn't that significant if I didn't go to the graduation. My parents were afraid that if I didn't go to the graduation ceremony, I really wouldn't get my degree, but of course that's not the case. So the secret is I didn't actually have a pudding ceremony or go to a graduation ceremony. And for those of you who are not going to have one of those in person this year, it doesn't make that much difference. In the end, you can be successful in your career without actually having a physical pudding ceremony or a physical graduation ceremony. Now, it's disappointing that you won't have one, but you have a virtual one, and really, it's pretty much good enough. So for all of you who are graduating, congratulations on what you've done. No doubt all of you will become important lawyers or law professors or judges, or even more importantly, private equity professionals, which I've considered to be the highest calling of mankind. But even if you are not a private equity professional and you do other things, I think your law school degree will help you in good stead, and you should be very pleased with what you've done at your years at the University of Chicago.
To my fellow University of Chicago law school graduates and your families, congratulations. Law school was a life-changing experience for me. It taught me how to spot issues and solve problems, skills I use every day at the NBA. We're currently faced with enormous challenges, but also extraordinary opportunities. So embrace the world as you use your University of Chicago Law School degree. And congratulations to all of you.
I don't remember much about the graduation speech I heard in Rockefeller Chapel years ago. You people graduating today in the spring of our coronavirus discontent, I suspect you will never forget this unusual graduation day. Years from now, you're going to remember that you reached the finish line in 2020. You'll remember the feeling of accomplishment and joy and relief, and you'll still have many of the dear friends who are with you today. The ceremony's been taken from you, but not your education. Today you face the open road, and what lies ahead is uncertain. But in a song of the open road, Walt Whitman wrote these words that I hope you'll remember. I am larger, better than I thought. I did not know I held so much goodness. You hold so much goodness. You give us all something to celebrate. You new lawyers, trained and committed to the rule of law, you'll help us all to build a better future. Congratulations.
University of Chicago Law School Class of 2020, congratulations. 25 years ago, my classmates and I sat where you are sitting today, and we were consumed with the bombing of the Oklahoma City Federal Building. Nothing going on in 1995 compares to the pandemic that your class is facing today. But please don't let today's events and the state of the world today dim your dreams for tomorrow. You will be your generation's elected officials, politicians, federal judges, civic leaders, law firm partners, and philanthropists. The world needs your leadership today more than ever before. If you do these things and you use your God-given talents, hopefully enhanced a bit during the last 3 years at the University of Chicago, the world will not only be a better place than what it is today, it will be a better place than it was before the pandemic. I'm extremely excited about all the things your class is going to do to enhance the world in the days and the years to come. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you to our alumni for their kind wishes and words of wisdom. One of the most honored traditions at the law school is the hooding of our graduates. During the hooding ceremony, graduates first receive a diploma from me, the dean of the law school. Graduates then present themselves to 4 members of the law school faculty whom the graduating class have selected as their faculty hooders. The faculty hooders place the academic hood over the graduate, symbolizing the graduate's successful completion of the academic program. We are disappointed that we cannot perform these rituals physically with each member of the class of 2020 at this time. But we are grateful for the opportunity to acknowledge each graduate today and to hear from our faculty hooders. The class of 2020 have selected as faculty hooders the following faculty members: Emily Buss, the Mark and Barbara Freed Professor of Law; Genevieve Lakier, Assistant Professor of Law and the Herbert and Marjorie Freed Teaching Scholar; Saul Levmore, the William B. Graham Distinguished Service Professor of Law; and Jonathan Mazer, the John P. Wilson Professor of Law, David and Celia Hilliard Research Scholar, and Director of the Wachtell Lipton Rosen and Katz Program in Behavioral Law, Finance, and Economics.
Class of 2020, you are graduating under such difficult circumstances, but you are graduating. This is a sign of your grit and determination, your ability to cross the finish line even when the wind is against you. These are the qualities that make fine lawyers.
The honor you have given us reminds each of us that we have learned as much from you as you have from us.
The best part of being a hooder is getting to say goodbye and congratulations to each and every one of you as you cross the stage.
As your hooders, we are very sorry to miss the chance to look you in the eye in appreciation and celebration, and to lay a hood on your shoulders. As members of the faculty, we are sorry to miss the chance to meet your friends and family, to share with them all you have brought to the law school, and to thank them for all the support they have given you.
We don't know how many of you will miss saying goodbye to any of the 4 of us, but we know that you regret losing the opportunity to say goodbye to one another and to the school. We hope very much that you will have that opportunity at some point soon.
Please know that we are celebrating you with redoubled gusto from afar.
We urge you not to let your lasting memory of the law school be these past 3 months. Think instead of the months and years before then. Think of the classes, the conversations, and all of the good times you have shared.
We are eager to see where you go from here. Come back and see us.
Go out there and learn more. It never ends, and it will make you a more interesting person day after day. We hope you find careers that make you wake up each day looking forward to work, just as we have looked forward to teaching you.
Remember, although you may feel far away, you are and always will be a member of the UChicago Law School community. You are not alone.
We'll be thinking of you as you cross the virtual stage to receive your virtual hoods and to commemorate your very real accomplishments.
Congratulations, class of 2020.
Congratulations, class of 2020.
Congratulations, class of 2020.
Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you to our faculty hooders. We will now proceed with recognizing the members of the class of 2020.
Dean Miles, it is my honor to present these students who have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the law school. They have been awarded the degree of Master of Laws by the Board of Trustees.
I congratulate these graduates on the successful completion of a program of advanced study in the law school, culminating in the degree Master of Laws.
We will now present the graduates of the LLM class of 2020. Graduates, please prepare your hood so that you may be hooded when your name is called.
Raz Agranat, Genevieve Louise Auld, Juan Pablo Barrios Reyna, Guilherme Antonio Bazan Amorim, Luis Fernando Bueno Pereira Dolago, Sergio Buenrostro Rivas, Gustavo Siqueira Calazans de Freitas, Josene Marquez Rosado Carmona, Kuo Jui Chen, Si Yuan Cheng, Ricardo Crispin Lechi, Eduardo de Toledo Simonis, Dixing Deng, Manuel Dominguez Diaz, Felix Eggers, Carlos Alberto Elias Mercante, Pedro Luis Federico Amin, Ariane Dominique Tangkyang Ferrer, Sibo Gao, Marios Gabrieliolu, Lucas Daniel Gersi Murillo, Gerson Durante Gomez Filho, Guillaume Christophe Philip Guy Gros, Shreya Gulati, Monica Hayan Harton, Domenico Imparato, Arno Jansens, Sachi Jaideep Kapoor, Akira Karasawa, Yuki Katagiri, Ayaka Kato, Melissa Josephine Kelly, Ilro Kim, Rosalind M. Koch, Igor Kungurov, Han Kwak, Hui Chen Lan, Xiaoyin Li, Manfeng Liang, Yan Li, Zhuyu Li, Jushin Liu, Tomonori Mezawa, Zvi Matskin, Gianpaolo Mendez de Asunción, Francesco Marizzi, Humberto Molina Gonzalez, Florian Klaus Michael Mueller, Fumiya Nakatani, Yosuke Nishiyama, Sachi Noguchi, Orjan Ok, Felipe Pozo, Ronnie Jie Dongren, Victoria Rivera Torres Alvarez, Marcelo Vitor Toja Rodriguez, Caroline Rodriguez Ogata, Patrick Sattler, Shuntaro Shirai, Jordan Vikram Milford Smith, Lucrezia Spirzani, Ria Srivastava, Dimitrios Stamatis, Marie Stenger, Diana Suk, Shuhei Takaishi, Alisa Tarunyan, Till Jacob Trouvain, Lena Verhargen, Isabella Vieira Mendonça, Angelos Vlazakis, Shiyao Wan, Alexander R. Winsley, Ron Shu, Yue Yang, Mei Xiong Ye, Yadian Yu, Nicholas de Moraes Rego Zara, Jun Xiao Zhang.
Congratulations to the LLM class of 2020. Dean Miles, it is my honor to present the students who have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the law school. These students have been awarded the degree of Master of Legal Studies by the Board of Trustees.
I congratulate these graduates on the successful completion of a program of study in the law school, culminating in the degree of Master of Legal Studies.
We will now present the graduates of the MLS class of 2020. Graduates, please prepare your hood so that you may be hooded when your name is called.
Renee Jabri, Bo-Wan Kim,
Congratulations to the MLS class of 2020. Dean Miles, the student I now present has attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and has prepared a dissertation which contributes to knowledge in a particular field of research. On behalf of the faculty of the law school, I have the honor to present the recipient of the degree of Doctor of Jurisprudence, as conferred by the Board of Trustees.
I congratulate the graduates on the successful completion of a program of advanced study in the law school, culminating in the degree of Doctor of Jurisprudence.
We will now present the graduate of the JSD class of 2020. Graduate, please prepare your hood so that you may be hooded when your name is called.
Zayu Ren,
Congratulations to the JSD class of 2020.
Dean Miles, it is my honor to present these students who have fulfilled all of the requirements prescribed by the faculty of the law school to qualify them for the profession of law. They have been awarded the degree of Doctor of Law by the Board of Trustees.
I congratulate these graduates on the successful completion of a program of study in the law school, culminating in the degree of Doctor of Law.
We will now present the graduates of the JD class of 2020. Graduates, please prepare your hood so that you may be hooded when your name is called.
Jonathan Michael Acevedo, Tammy Tosin Adarati, William Christopher Edmondson, Shivani Agarwal, Usama Alkawaja, Talia Silverton Al-Salam, Nicole Sophia Alvarez, Brendan Jerome Anderson, Nika Marie Arzumanian, Isaac James Ashworth, Omero Mario Avaldi, Samantha Lily Becci, Joseph Eli Began, Addison William Bennett, Merav Judith Bennett, Carolina Souza Berger, Eden Mirel Bernstein, Jennifer M. Bisgayer, Rebecca Ann Borstein, Laura Ann Brodkin, Simona Caroline Brooks, Alexander Henry Caponia, Charles Frederick Capps, Michael L. Cardoza, Carl Joseph Casavecchia, Yun Sun Eunice Chang, Amy Chang, Ri Shui Chang, Noah Alonzo Childry, Michael A. Christ, Giovanni Ignacio Serrallo, Hiram Jensen Clark, Seth M. Cohen, Ryan J. Cooper, Olivia Sarah Cusimano, Wenjing Dai, Marian Amelia Daniel, Tiberius Taylor Davis, Kelsey Joyce Dayton, Parag R. Dharmavarapu, John P. Doherty, Yanni D. Drivas, Anna G. Duke,
Maya Lerner Dunlap,
Robert B. Dunteman, Sohel Ebadat, Lena S. Elsadek, Jackson Charles Evert, Brittany Dawn Fales, Jonathan Dylan Fish, Catherine Jean Forrester Queck, Samuel C. Freeland, Sarah Rafat Gad, Stephen Wesley Gamble, Sarah Ann Gaskell, Christina Rose Gay, Kelly Marie Geddes, Carly Allen Gibbons, Charles William Gibson, Elijah Rob Giuliano, Samuel P. Goldstein, Brian B. Goodell, Jenna R. Gorin, Andrew S. Govey, Emily Alexis Grinstead, Christopher Ralph Guerriero, Matthew J. Gillid, Deanna Monet Hall, Manima Tasneem Hawk, Connor Ryan Harvey, John Richard Haviland, Grant Tyler Habrank, Jennifer Margaret Herman, Marissa L. Higdon, Claire M. Horrell, Brittany Kabakov, Asad Karamali, Beth Ariel Karp, Alexander T. Keene, Trevor P. Ruse-Kerr, Justin Truett Kelly, Elizabeth Stark Ketchum, Susie Kim, Austin Robert Kissinger, Josiah Liana Klein, Alexis Tonetta Knudsen, Hussein Javier Cordy, Donna Kwan, Kyle Garwin Kisela, Nicole Ashley LaBelle, Faith Regina Lakin, Catherine Rose Lamb, Amiri Ashanti Breon Lampley, Luke Scott Lechtenberg, Eugenia S. Lee, Benjamin Hall Leffler, Drake Emery Lyfred, Silver Lynn, Megan Elizabeth Lindgren, Christine Liu, Livia Elizabeth Moss, Beth L. McNabb, Urvashi Malhotra, Elizabeth Seltz Mayer, Rachel Alana McCauley, Juliana Cooper McCorkle, Patrick J. McCusker, Kyle Brent McGuire, Imara H. McMillan, Alexander P. Michael, David E. Milano, Lillian Hahn Miller, Matthew Glenn Miyamoto, Orion Harrison Moore, Benjamin James Nickerson, Ian A. Nilsson, Monica A. Norzagaray Pedraza, Lauren Rachel Nudelman, Tiffany Chikamara Wasu, Kathleen L. O'Leary, Dane Olson, Reba Ziegler Orloff, Libby Brianne Oseben, Andrew Leo Osborne, Corey Ellen Osborne, Mason Osman, Carly R. Owens, James Jung Hwan Park, Karina Adrienne Partovi, Colin August Parts, Byron David Patton, Catherine Lorraine Pellerin, Alexandria Teresa Piacenti, Adam Nathaniel Picker, Matthew Roy Pochask, Jordan Cosby Poole, Anna Christine Porter, Angela Pio, David Jacob Raban, William L. Reeves, Devansi Reshimvala, Evan Alexander Ribot, Rebecca Lynn Ritchie, Chase Henry Robinette, Alexander Xiaolong Robledo, Regina M. Rodigger, Allison Lauren Rogers, Claire Irene Rogerson, Alexa Karen Rollins, Max H. Romano, Humberto Enrique Romero Carrillo, Dennis Andrew Rondeau, Quincy M. Rush, Corey James Russell, Ricardo R. Sabater, Hannah Ruth Samaha, Brian Wesley Sanders, Alexandra Jane Mellett Schrader, Arya Dilek Serbest, Savannah Silver, Zachary Philip Simon, Joseph E. Sitzman, David Brandon Smith, Emily M. Snowden, Kevin T. Solove, Alexander Tang Song, Anna Manchester Stapleton, Lee Barrington Stark, Kelly A. Stern, Julia Grace Tabbitt, Paige Christine Tapp, William M. Thompson II, Anne Nicole Thorson, Megan Tobin, Jorge Guillermo Toledo, Alexander Valdez, Lauren Valentor, Omid Abbas Valleypour, Alexandra Falvey Van Dyne, Christopher A. Verdugo, Emily Ann Vernon, Philip M. Voren, Zachary James Waller, Savannah Joy West, Elizabeth Palmer White, Carissa Laurel Wilson, Jackson Brooks Wimberly, Austin S. Wolfe, Patrick John Woods, M. Nguyen, Zhao Zhu, Austin Yim, Ariel Desiree Yoon, Brian D. Zagraki, Michael Thomas Zakryzek, Jia-Heng Zhang, Joshua Robert Zuckerman.
Congratulations to the JD Class of 2020.
This concludes our 22nd annual hooding ceremony at the law school. thank you again to our alumni speakers, to our faculty hooders, to our Director of Graduate Programs, Justin Swinzik, and to our Dean of Students, Charles Todd. Thank you as well to the family and friends of our graduates for your support and participation today. Finally, to our class of 2020, we look forward to seeing you again to celebrate in person. Congratulations.